Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hi, my name is Natasha and it's fantastic to have you here. For today's video, we are unboxing and taking a look at the Oracle of the Celestial Deities by Letao Want, illustrated by Nithiroji P. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name correctly. I do apologize if I am not. So if that author sounds familiar, they are the author of the Oracle of Mythic Heroes, and these two decks will work together. So thank you so much to Beyond Words for sending this deck my way. I am so excited to get into it. It retails for $19.95 in the US and $26.95 in Canada. And as always, in the description box below, I will link where you can legitimately purchase this should you want to. This is only 20 cards, but it is supposed to work with both of these decks, and the key here is versatility. So it has a 152-page guidebook. And let's go. An enchanted journey into the esoteric realm of magic and transformation. This intuitive and inspirational oracle system combines the ancient wisdom of the gods and goddesses with modern astrology and archetypes to provide you daily cosmic guidance. No mere sequel to Oracle of the Mythic Heroes, it is rather a sublime transformation soaring beyond the celestial limits. Journey outside the spiritual insights of our earthly realm with the cards depicting mythical deities derived from astrology, astronomy, and ancient Greek and Roman mythology. From Venus, the goddess of love, and Saturn, the god of time, to Ceres, the goddess of harvest, and Vulcan, the god of forge, you will learn and appreciate the important life lessons that are echoed in the epic legends of the gods. All right, the packaging is really pretty. It looks more like a Art Nouveau style here, and I'm excited about it. Okay, so there's the cards. Oh, that's so pretty. Let's take a peek at the guidebook real fast, just to see if there's a specific way that we got to utilize it. So we do have some introductions and then into the cards themselves. Okay, awesome. There is an introduction here. If you have read and used Oracle of the Mythic Heroes, you may find these card descriptions to be familiar. The Oracle of the Celestial Deities is a deck of oracle cards that contains 20 deities and their associated planets, asteroids, and constellations, all from Greek and Roman mythology as well as astrology. Although in astrology, planets and constellations differ in importance and usually are classified into personal planets, generational planets, asteroids, etc., I personally believe the chosen 20 archetypes in this deck all share equal importance in our psychology. I would like us to see them as 20 actors all dancing on an ever-rotating stage of life. Our role is to learn how to take advantage of their unique talents and to work with each of them in their own unique ways. It's worth noting that in astrology, all celestial bodies are referred to as planets regardless of their scientific classification. For instance, in astronomy, the Sun is classified as a star, Pluto is characterized as a dwarf planet, and Ceres is an asteroid. In this deck, I will refer to them all as planets, remaining consistent with astrological traditions instead of astronomical norms. For a simple overview of the location of the astrological planets represented by the cards, refer to the Cosmic Blueprint foldout on the back cover. Oh, very cool. Look at that. Focus. There we go. That's so cool. All right. Each card description covers a planet, asteroid, or constellation, such as Mercury and Venus. On the cards, you will see the associated deities. For example, Mercury is related to the god of travel and communication, Hermes. Meanwhile, Venus is related to the Greek goddess of love, Aphrodite. These Greek and Roman mythic gods are used as personifications of the planets because most astrological archetypes are built off the myths through time. However, when I name each card, I decided to follow the astrological tradition despite their mythological roots. So on some cards, you will see Roman names, such as Ceres instead of Demeter, while on some cards, the Greek name is preferred, such as Athena rather than Minerva. Additionally, some planets have more than one mythological association. For deities, I focus more on their mythological and psychological connotations, which have been accepted widely by modern astrologers. Under each card name, you will also find the zodiac signs they rule or reflect and a crystal to use for your own dream work or invocation. If you feel particularly drawn to any planetary energy, carrying their crystals with you can bring you peace and protection. Astrology for beginners. Nice. So this will give you some basics of astrology. So yeah, it looks like a really cool deck to kind of learn the astrological energies as well as, you know, the deities behind them too. And then how to use this deck. Let's go over that real fast. Each card description includes 2 major sections. The initial section is an overview about the celestial being and its relationship with the associated mythological Greek and Roman gods. The second section is a teaching section showing you how to interpret the card in a generalized way in a career reading, love reading, respectively. If you're specifically doing a relationship reading and are short on time, you may read the first section and then skip ahead to the love section for quick guidance and answers. There are many different interpretations of myths, and though there are many similarities among the Roman and Greek gods and goddesses, their stories do not always perfectly align. Some stories seem to overlap due to close relationships between the gods, but they are different perspectives on each being's divine origin stories. So then there's building a relationship and then how to work with the spreads. So we do have a couple spreads here. We have a 1 card and 2 card, 4 card, the 4 pillars. Wow, there's a lot here. 12 card draw, the zodiac wheel. And then it goes into the cards and their meanings. So I know that was a lot, but I wanted to make sure we got a whole overview of what was going down before using this. That way you guys know what the deck is about. So the cards are actually a nice size. They're pretty decently big. Not like terribly big, but they're a nice size. I love that back too. That's so pretty. Okay, they are a gloss. Cardstock is nice. It's like right in that sweet spot between thin and medium, if that makes sense. Very flexible, but it is snapping back. So shuffling it should not be an issue. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay. Wow. We do have a sun. We have the symbol for the sun, a number, and then some keywords here. All right. So sun, center, self, and the wish to shine. Moon, emotion, instinct, and the wish to protect. This is beautiful. Mercury, travel, communication, and the wish to adapt. Venus, beauty, value, and the wish to love. Mars, passion, action, and the wish to persevere. Jupiter, liberation, opportunity, and the wish to expand. Saturn, karma, control, and the wish to restructure. Neptune, dream, illusion, and the wish to flow. Uranus or Uranus, invention, chaos, and the wish to change. Oh my gosh, look at his little head piece there. Love it. That's so fun. Pluto, completion, secrecy, and the wish to transform. Oh, we have Cerberus, 3-headed dog. Love it. Vesta, sanctuary, purification, and the wish to isolate. This artwork is so beautiful. Marriage, perspective, and the wish to relate for Juno. Love the peacock feathers. Ceres, mother, stability, and the wish to nurture. I could see this being very beneficial to those who want to learn more of the deities as well as the astrology in a way that kind of visually makes sense. Athena, wisdom, strategy, and the wish to lead. But this totally can be used as an oracle, as a daily pull. Vulcan, diligence, humility, and the wish to forge. Persephone, simplicity, rejuvenation, and the wish to balance. Pan, anxiety, resourcefulness, and the wish to live. Pegasus, friendship, freedom, and the wish to assist. Eros, desire, playfulness, and the wish to connect. Cute. And Medusa, fear, reflection, and the wish to survive. This is gorgeous. This is very pretty. Let's see how it shuffles. I know it's 20 cards, but we'll just see. Oh, very flexible. Not bad. Still bridges. I'm going to try it this way because they are a little big in my hand. Oh, much better. Much better side to side like that. Okay, yeah, and it shuffles great this way too. All right, let's read for Saturn. Karma, control, and the wish to restructure. Okay, so it gives us Capricorn and Aquarius and blue sapphire. Saturn, of singular beauty and discipline, confined and redefined within its myriad concentric rings of perfect form. Saturn is the ideal companion for Jupiter, an icon of constraint and perfection compared to its larger neighbor's blusterous character. Saturn is serene and composed where Jupiter is turbulent. Delicate where Jupiter is crass, and Saturn is cooler, more structured, obedient to his own set of rules. Just as Jupiter has a crown in the form of its storming heart, the great red spot that speaks to passion, Saturn wears a ring that speaks to responsibility. Kronos, as the Greeks called him, was the youngest of the 12 original Titans, the children of the primordial father Sky, which would be Uranus, and Mother Earth Gaia. Of course, an elite lineage does not automatically imply peace, and the family had their fair share of drama. Upon Gaia's instruction, Kronos castrated his father and discarded the flesh into the ocean. His violent coup proved successful, and he began to approach all new threats with similar commitment. He even ate his own children to prevent their rebellion. Zeus, the youngest, dodged the fate when his mother Rhea tricked Kronos and fed him a stone instead. His conviction in his own authority and power was such that Kronos swallowed the lie without question. Reminiscent of his own rebellion against Uranus, Kronos fell prey to Zeus later in life by swallowing a poison that caused him to vomit Hades, Poseidon, and their sisters back to freedom. The 6 siblings then cast their father into exile, where he enjoyed a relatively peaceful retirement as the god of harvests. The Roman culture celebrated Saturn, the god of time, agriculture, and renewal, among other things. The consistent traits we see in Kronos and Saturn are the rings of control, order, patience, responsibilities, and boundaries. The irony for Saturn is, though he is the god of time, not even he can control or restrain the limitless march of time. Yet, just as Saturn's perfect rings are held together by the opposition of centrifugal and gravitational pulls, Saturn's cycle of influence is defined by the balanced dynamic of order and havoc. It is fair to say that consuming one's children and castrating one's father are far from acts of restraint, yet astrologically, Kronos' actions speak to his intention of managing the chaos around him. All his other traits speak to self-discipline, the reining of wild ways, and the planting of seeds in orderly rows, keeping everything within his circle of control. These traits can, of course, become excessive in themselves, yet with a neighbor as boisterous as Jupiter, one can only imagine the tension. As Jupiter pulls in the direction of bombast, so Saturn must pull toward compliance for this complex relationship to be stable. And so it is when Saturn pulls at our chart that we are guided to seek opportunities to exercise self-control, establish structure, and set boundaries. Just as a parent will teach a child not to cross the street without looking, Saturn will remind us of the importance of our household budget and to restrain drinking habits and compulsive behaviors. And if that sounds impossible, Jupiter may be tipping the scales, and we must pay attention and seek to rebalance. If we overcompensate, we may feel the crushing restriction of compliance and the loss of creativity, spontaneity, and joy. When a tug of war is well balanced, all remaining standing and in good spirits, but when it is not, one side ends up face down in the mud. The teaching. Saturn, though playing such an indispensable role in the development of human life, can be terrifying to many of us who consider him restrictive and harsh. But you are promised a big reward if you know how to work with him. All that Saturn wants is for you to face your reality and be responsible for your own future. That's why Saturn in astrology is always associated with karma. You reap what you sow. What would be a more appropriate way to describe the motto of an agricultural deity? When Saturn appears in your reading, you might be experiencing delays or a difficult time. Things might not fall into your lap easily, and you could feel that you have to toil harder than usual. The key is patience as well as practical step-by-step action. Saturn is like an old farmer, and he wants you to know that to eat well later, you must first patiently nurture and care for your crops. And only when the right timing comes will you be rewarded with a bountiful harvest. Saturn, as the god of time, usually holds an hourglass in his ancient depictions to remind you of this. If you are going through a difficult time, trust that all will be fine when the right time comes. And then I will pause, or you can pause to read the career here. And then the love here. Okay, I am enjoying this. I think this is wonderful. I think if you are trying to learn a little bit more about the planet's energies along with the deities associated with it, this is fantastic. It has such good explanations and a history here that you can really understand what's going on and make the connection between the myth as well as what actually scientifically is going down. I think that's fantastic. And I really like that you can combine the two decks here, especially, ooh, are they the same size? They are the same size. So you can shuffle them both together if you would like to, or you can pull a card from the Oracle of Mythic Heroes first, and then this, or vice versa. Just have a complete reading with both of them. Since they're all similarly based decks here, I think that would be fantastic. The art is gorgeous. I am so in love with the art. It reminds me of a really cool anime that is Art Nouveau style. I think this is so cool. So thank you so much to Beyond Words and Letao for sending this my way. I am so excited to get to know it on a more intimate level. I think this would be great to add to the astrology readings. I think all of this is fun. Definitely a daily pull for sure. This would be great for. I love the keywords down here. Very beginner friendly. If you were looking to learn all of this, this might be a deck for you. So with that being said, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Is this something that you're excited about? Is this something that you never thought you would need? Or is this a pass from you because it's an astrology deck that maybe you don't need? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love you and I like you. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you will never miss an upload from me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.